So I like to use my net to try and get out what I can. Scoop-de-doo. Skibbity toilet. What's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm gonna just get right into it, and I'll do all the jibber jabber and while I do stuff here. So today we're gonna be cleaning out my Green Jade tank. It's on the bottom of my rack here. I haven't done a full room tour since I rearranged everything before Christmas. I know I have a lot I need to do for channel wise and whatnot, and I know you guys are craving more Bob Moss. So anyway, first thing we're gonna do is shut off the air pump, so hopefully that humming will stop and go away, and then we don't have to hear that anymore. I'm gonna grab a little thing I have for the water and the goods and whatnot, and we're gonna start draining the tank ASAP. So my goal for this video style series is to have it a little bit raw, more raw than what I would normally do. There we go, get that going. Just because my normal creative process is just taking a bit too much time these days. I'm not getting content out in a timely manner. Like, I'm not happy with my production level. I'm happy with the quality that I'm putting out still when I do get them out, but I mean, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to realize I'm not really putting them out in a timely manner. So when removing the sponge filter, I kind of do that. I dip it a couple times to try and get out any babies, and then I put it here in my container, bucket, whatever, of water. This is actually a tray from the dollar store for like busting tables, I think that's the term, for like putting dirty dishes in when you're like cleaning up tables at a restaurant. I think busting tables is the proper term. So just gonna give it a rinse. I'm gonna just let that kind of soak in there. Any babies that are on it will come off as the water fills up, and we're gonna just move this over to the side. And now it is warm in my basement, so I am shirtless, so if you get a nip slip, I apologize, I guess. Okay, I have a second bucket here because for this we're going to be doing pretty deep clean. So I already washed my hands with soap and water over at the wash sink. So I'm going to be pulling out some plants here, and I'm going to be cleaning up the glass. And so while I do that, I'll explain what I want to do with this video series. So like I said, it's going to be a bit more raw, just less edits in general. I'll cut out some dead spots and maybe like excessive cursing if that happens, but for the most part this is just going to be a raw video that I upload onto YouTube's. So what I'm doing here, I have a second bucket that I'm going to put all my plants in, and that keeps, so my filter and all the shit is in that bucket, and then the plants and any shrimp hitchhikers will be in this bucket, so keep them separate. That just makes it a little bit easier to find the shrimp in this when it's doesn't have all of the fecal matter from the other one. So yeah, where was I? Basically, yeah, it's just going to be a easier series for me to get videos out a bit more often, a bit more raw, less, you know, no memes, no sound effects, maybe just a calm track underneath to fill in any dead spots, any silence, with some nice calm music. Otherwise, we're just going to be cleaning my shrimp tanks, and I'll be explaining to you what I'm doing. So I will actually flash on screen. I took a quick video of the supplies that I'm going to be using to clean this. Obviously, I have my dechlorinator, I have some stability, I have some Montmorillonite clay, and some spirulina powder that I'm going to be putting in afterwards. And then I also have tools. I have forceps, I have scissors, and I like to have a net handy because when you have a lot of moss and subwasser tang, you'll notice these straggly bits. It likes to become free floating and just like settle wherever it feels like it in your tank. And personally, I hate the way that looks. I wish it just stayed attached to my plants and just grew attached to my plants. I really wish I didn't have all this free floating moss and stuff, but it is what it is. So I like to use my net to try and get out what I can. Scoop-de-doo. Skibbity toilet. So yeah, I think that basically explains the goal of this. I'm going to be cleaning my tanks with this raw format. If you like this raw format, let me know. If you could really do without it, like if you're gonna skip these videos, please let me know as well, so that I don't keep making them. So because I do want you guys to watch my content. I want to give you a little bit, I want to give you what you've been craving, you know, what I've been unable to deliver the past few months. I found a shrimp in my bucket already. So I clearly have not been able to stick to any kind of upload schedule at all, like to save my life. Couldn't do it. So this will hopefully get me a little bit back on track, get me back in that like creative mindset where I can get you guys some cool shrimp content. Let me know what you would like to see as well in the comments. I have tank setup videos in the works. I have a couple little tips videos in the pipeline, and I mean, I've said it before, I have too many ideas. What I need is easier to produce things, because I am just a one-man crew. I am just doing this by myself in my basement. My wife barely even approves some days. I got one right in the net, so we'll just let that little guy out. Get out. Get out, little shrimpy. Get out, little shrimpy. Come on. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Get out. There you go. Good job. Good job, good boy. Where was I before that? Shrimp. So yeah, things have just been busy on my end. You know, I got the kid. We have a second on the way now. And I know how crazy things have been with just the one kid. So I know with two coming along the way, I'm going to have even less time for all this. So, I mean, if you guys, like, whatever, if you want to unsub, if you want to take away, like, unbecome a channel member, I totally understand that. I've actually been, what I'm probably going to do actually very soon is just cancel all the channel memberships, because I am not delivering what I would expect, you know? Like, if I was to pay someone for a channel membership, what I'm giving you guys, like, I would not be happy with. And that's really my, at the end of the day, that's what my standard is would I be happy with this video, with this production, if I was the viewer of this channel and not the person struggling to run it. And bottom, you know, long story short, no, I'm not in a happy place with where this channel is, and what we're putting out. It's just, I mean, the quality's fine, just that quantity is like once every couple of months, one video every couple of months just ain't gonna cut it. It's not even like a money thing. It's, how do I even explain it? Like, it's not doing it for the money. I don't make enough to do it for the money. It's a consistency thing. It's a commitment thing. All in all, I just haven't really been feeling that creative. This is going to be a really random, disconnected rant as I pull plants out of my tank while I do it. I honestly just haven't had much time for shrimping in general, and adding on YouTube video production, like adding that on top of, you know, taking care of the shrimp, is just another layer of stuff I have not had time for. I played around with the idea of not renewing my web shop. Oops, sorry, got you a little earthquake shake there. I've definitely played around with the idea of not renewing my custom URL, and closing up the shrimp room. But I think at the end of the day, I wouldn't be very happy with that either, because it does, like, in the good moments, it does bring me joy. Sorry, I have some shrimp in the bucket that I'm just fishing out now. At the end of the day, it does bring me joy to work on this stuff and take care of these little guys and to help out like my local aquarium community as well, with the supplies and the livestock and the plants and stuff. It is pretty rewarding thing to do. So I don't want to stop. That's the one conclusion I definitely came to and fully agree with. I don't want to stop. This keeps getting clogged up with poo-poo. Okay, so we'll keep going here. Almost done on the back side. Grab my net one more time. When you sweep it with the net, that's when you're actually most likely to grab the most shrimp, because you're just kind of, you're blindly waving it through the water, catching anything that gets in your way. So of course you're gonna get some shrimp. That's why we use a white bucket though, because it's very easy to see the shrimp against a white bucket. And really this water drain should not have taken nearly this long, but oh my gosh, the amount of like poo matter in the water, it's clogging up my pantyhose, which is then causing the drain speed to slow way down. So I'm gonna let that keep draining. I think I got most of the plants I want out, so I'm gonna go clean the filter and we'll be back. So I actually have a whole video on this. I'll try to remember to put the card up there. I probably won't remember to put the card up there, but I have a whole video on cleaning your aquarium filter under tap water, and you just try to match the temperature of the tap water to the aquarium temperature so you don't shock the bacteria, and you just squeeze it until it's relatively clean. It's going to take sometimes a couple minutes even, but the 1 to 2 minutes that you're squeezing your sponge under the tap here, it's not going to be enough to really affect anything with the bacteria. It's not going to crash your cycle. The chlorine amounts in our tap water is not high enough to actually affect anything with the life of the bacteria. You might wash, like you're going to rinse some of the bacteria out with this detritus, like all the brown coming out. There's going to be some bacteria with that as well, but it's not going to be enough to affect the cycle. And most of your bacteria is also like on your substrate, on your glass, your hardscape, stuff like that. So rinsing your aquarium filters under the tap, it's not a dangerous thing at all. It's nothing to worry about. And now you can see the water's running clear out of it, no more brown stuff. So we're basically done here. Give it one final squeeze, shut off the tap, and we'll go back to the tank. Okay, and with Neocaridina, you want to do, you can do around 30%. I think I might have a bit more than 30% here. I just kind of eyeball it. You can mark the side of your tank with the volume amounts if that's something you're interested in. Something else that's going to be sporadically throughout this little video series, if it turns into a series, that is a bunch of little tips like that. Like, so what I do is I eyeball it. So that's how much I took out. So that's that. So definitely I took a bit more than 30% of the water. Another little tip you can do is to measure. So let's say this is 10 inches, 30%, you'd measure 3 inches down and put a little line with like dry erase marker or something like that. And that will tell you the 30% for your water change. I'm just adding in my Seachum Prime right now. Get that going. Get that going in there. Something else I do use occasionally, not every water change, basically because I don't have enough of it and it's expensive stuff, is Seachum Stability. Just do a few milliliters of that when you feel like it. It's a live bacteria product, so it's good to do if you ever have issues in the tank. And if I have it on hand, I put a little bit in, like a couple milliliters every water change. I just don't always have it on hand because it's kind of pricey, Shit's not cheap. So now that that's in, I'm just going to build my filter back up here. We'll put the sponge back in the tank. So you guys are gonna have to let me know if you like this raw style or if it's completely unwatchable and you'd much rather me edit the video properly. Is it a little lazy? Yeah, maybe. Could it turn into good content? Yeah, maybe. All right, and I think we're approaching the end, the final steps here. I'm going to clean the glass. Yeah, clean the glass. Yeah, that's the step we're on. So I'm gonna start with a razor blade. I don't think it's too bad, so the razor blade probably won't get too much. But it'll be nice to see, because I find when I run my hand over it with the razor blade like this, I'm more like, it's gonna sound really stupid, more like in tune with the tank. You know, I can feel that there's no bad algae spots or anything like that. I can see that there's still a bunch more free-floating plants. That's annoying. I have to do my thing and get those out. And I mean, this is a constant battle with these tanks. I do have some plans in 2024 to potentially like reset all my Neocaridina tanks. Just, you know, basically do a new scape and move all the shrimp over. That's all that really entails. I'm not going super crazy, but just to kind of give my room a new look as well. I think it would be interesting to do tank resets, I guess is the technical term, is what we would be doing. So once the razor blade is done, then I grab my little, I always keep one of these magnetic scrapers on hand. They're nice to have. They just polish things up for you. They're not very good at, oh gosh, what does that sound? They're honestly not very good at removing anything more than like biofilm. So if it's, you know, if it's progressed past just the biofilm to any type of real hard algae growth, this isn't going to do anything for you, but it does polish rather nicely. It can also scrape your glass very easily. If you get like a grain of sand stuck between the two halves, you're gonna get a big gouge in your glass. I've done it to a tank before. So once I get down near the substrate, I do tend to be a little more careful, go a little slower. You know what I'm saying? And something else you could do at this time is, if you're doing it, dose your peroxide. Do it now, and then as you add your new water back in, it will break down and whatever. Because I just added the Sechem Stability, that's a bacterial product, I don't want to add something that's going to kill bacteria. So adding peroxide now would be counterintuitive to the steps I just did. So we're not going to be doing that in this tank. Making pretty good time. So we have most of the stuff done here. I've drained the water, I've taken the plant, I've done the filter. What is that? That's on the inside. So the approaching the last steps here. I always put my water into these buckets to make it easier for me to refill, because of the rack that I use for my tanks. If you know, I'm not going to tell you how to refill or don't refill your tanks. I just know that this works for me. This gets the job done, and it makes it so I can actually like track how much water I'm putting back in. You know what I mean? Whatever. Add the new water. Perfect. And then, okay, these are the final steps. What I'm going to do here is I have Montmorillonite clay in a little container, available at bobmoss.shop. Montmorillonite clay powder. It's a volcanic powder with tons of micronutrients. Good stuff for the shrimps. Not a necessary thing to add during water changes. Just a nice additive. That's what it is. It is an additive. It's a bonus. It's a little bonus treat. This is a habit I have formed, is I always add these powdered foods in at water change time. I don't know, I just find it a convenient time to add them. And I also have spirulina powder that I mentioned previously in the video. Sprinkle that everywhere. Final step is to turn the filter back on. Oh god, that was loud. And this will take, it's like 3 gallons I'm adding, so it's not going to take that long. But I am going to go do some stuff and come back. So we'll be back in a few hours once this is refilled, and we can wrap it up. Cool. Hope this wasn't too bad. And there we are. There we have it. It's clean, water changed, stuff's back in, new water's back in. It's ready to go. And it looks, I mean, I think it looks a fair bit cleaner. There's still some loose plants here I could probably get out, you know, right there in the back corner. But whatever, I got out most of them. The shrimp seem happy. Before I pop the lid back on here, I did just want to do one more thing with you guys as well, and that is just going through the bucket over here. So let's move the camera over to this way, and we'll see what we got going on here. Come on, come on. Oh my god. Come on. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Alright, obviously now we're looking at our bucket of water, our container of water with plants in it. And as you can see, there's a nice contrast between the white and the green of the plants and the darkness of any potential shrimp. I know I saw one shrimp swimming around in here. So basically what you're going to be doing is moving the plants around. I tried not to stick my hands in too much, so I used my forceps. You're going to be moving your various plants around and picking out anything alive. There's a shrimp right there. Right there's one. And there's a snail here that will need to go back in as well. So for the shrimps, pretty straightforward. Just grabbing a net. Bam. Get them in. And we can get a second one while we're here. Bam. So there's 2 shrimps I'm going to be getting back in the tank. And actually I can get a third one over here. Whoa, 3 shrimps. Did one go back in? Oh well, even if one went back in, that's fine. I'll scoop it out. And then, because it's all the same water, the same parameters, I just dip it in. And then the shrimp swim free. Ta-da! And I will be doing that for the next little while until I am positive that there are no living things besides plants left in this bucket. And then there's one final little strategy I do. I'll just try and preview it here for you if I can get it to, if I can get the camera set up to work here properly. So basically what I do, okay, so we'll have bucket A, or well, bucket A and bucket B. So bucket A has the shrimps and the plants in it and stuff, but I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if there's any other shrimps in here. All right. So I hope this is gonna turn out. So I take my bucket here. There we go. And I take a net and I put the net right where I'm gonna pour the bucket, and we just pour the water through the net. And I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? You're gonna pour your water through the net here, and that's gonna catch, and it's gonna catch the plants, but it's also gonna catch any shrimp, and then you can just put the whole net back in your tank. And yeah, it's for, like, if I tend to do it like once I'm pretty sure I have most of the shrimp out, but I'm not sure if there's any babies left, that I tend to just pour my water into a new bucket through a net, just to make sure that no little babies are going down the drain, because I am guilty of having done that before. Alright friends, I think that is it for today. So thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out to my channel members. Kendra Crippen, Drifters Workshop, Jens Brinkman, Robert Redmond, Zodiac 246, BJ Palmer, Jake, FWTX, and Mitch Bottomla. As I said, I may be canceling the channel memberships. I'll keep you guys updated on all that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did like this style of video, let me know in the comments. If you didn't, also let me know in the comments. Support links are in the description. I have a Discord. Make sure you join that. And remember, guys, until next time, keep your shrimp hands strong. Bye-bye now. That one needs to be called.